Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Dora and this is my second update to Graveyard Project Pan. This is a big group project pan that was created by Emily of Emily and Max. She's also the creator of Deck of Panning, so you may know her from there. If you're not following her already, please make sure you check her out. She's linked down below. And this project is spooky themed because it ends on Halloween. This is actually the last update before the finale because we're doing bi-monthly updates. There's only really an intro and 2 updates in the finale because this is a 6-month long project. Super fun. Most people pick 6 items to work with because that's a spooky number. And we're picking makeup or beauty products from 2 categories. There's the collecting cobwebs category, so something that you haven't been using in ages. And there's also the resurrection category, an item that has previously been in a project pan that you still have though. You haven't finished it yet. Okay, what I tend to do in Graveyard Project Pan, I've got my 6 traditional items, beauty and makeup, and then I also pan candles and tea. But that will come towards the end of the video or maybe halfway through. But I've got a really exciting update today. There's only 1 item I didn't use in these past 2 months, but I did use it between my intro and my first update. And at my last update 2 months ago, there were 4 products that I hadn't touched yet. So I'm super pleased I'm getting somewhere, and I definitely have rollouts as well. My first product is a resurrection item because it's been in here for ages, at least last year, maybe even the previous year. And this is the Elemental Herbology Oil Control Facial Detox Face Mask. And my goal is to finish it. At my last update, I had only used this twice. I've now got 3 more uses on this product. 5 in total. That was my goal. I had like a soft goal to use this item 3 times in between updates. Not a lot if you think that's for like 60 days, but I'm trying, you know. I've increased it slowly, my usage, and I seem to be using a little bit more of it, which is also good because I noticed last time I used it, it was such a thin layer on there while I was having a bath. I really wanted more impact, so I sort of reapplied it. Yeah, because you know, I kind of want it to be like a thicker mask. Anyway, this item now weighs 55 grams exactly, and that means I've used up 8.8 grams since my previous update, and that's 11 grams exactly since the intro. Next is another resurrection item, a fake tan, and this is the Sunkissed Bronze Professional Moisturizer Spray Tan in light medium. This is a backup item because I've just got too many of these bottles. I'm trying to finish it. I don't think that's possible. I also had the soft goal to use this item 3 times since my last update. I only managed 2 applications, but I think it's okay. Both applications again were just on my legs, and I'm gonna try and continue with that. Maybe once it starts to cool down, I might use this all over my body. So far that hasn't happened, but yeah, 4 uses in total. This now weighs 162.82 grams. I have used up 13.18 grams since my last update, and that's 17.46 since my intro. Then I wrote in this NARS blush in the intro just for 13 uses, another spooky number. I was at 7 uses at my last update, so I only needed to use it 6 more times in order to hit that goal, and yes, of course, I managed to do that. This is in Dolce Vita. It's a really pretty blush. I definitely enjoyed using it. And yeah, it's just, you know, this was from the collecting cobwebs category, and of course it has been in lots of different projects before, but it's not anything that I have ever tried to finish. It was always in projects for usage goals, and I haven't used it in ages, so I'm super glad I got a little bit of use on it. And in those 13 uses, I actually managed to use up 20 milligrams, so 0.02 grams in other words. Because this is rolling out, I will be replacing this item with something else at the end of my makeup and beauty section. Another intro item, this is a L'Oreal lipstick, a bright red one that I'm actually wearing today, even though it looks kind of different, but I've mixed it with a Mina lipstick, a cool tone neutral. So these 2 together is what I've got on my lips today. I also want to use this. This is Blake's Pure Red, by the way, Color Riche L'Oreal. I also need to use this 13 times. I was just at 4 uses last time, and with today's application, I'm now at 10 uses. So it's not a rollout, but I know I'll have it done for the finale, just 3 more uses to go. Next, I rolled in a bunch of nail polishes at my last update, just to use them one time, because these were all of the nail polishes that I hadn't yet used in 2025, and there were 11 of them. I have used every single one of them-ish. It is a rollout, I'll explain, because I've only got 8 left. I decluttered 3 of these polishes, and one of them I decluttered before I got to it, but the other 2 that I decluttered I did use once. And there are some that I used more than once. This is how I track my polishes, so it changes over the year. I do this at the beginning of the year. I write it down in pencil in case I declutter anything or finish something. Like here, for example, that's then like crossed out, and then the numbers change, right? So I need to like be able to erase that and write it down again, la la la. And here, yeah, the second column is when I Franken polishes, just, you know, there's not a lot of huge color difference going on here actually. But just to show you, this is the nail polish that I ended up decluttering. So it was a black with a silver sparkle in there, P2 Winter Glam Magic Moments. This one I decluttered, and my friend who got all of these nail polishes was so excited specifically about that polish. So I don't feel so bad about not having used it. But yeah, here's the proof. So I've got the swatches here and then the numbers in pencil, and again that changes as things shift around throughout the year, and each time I use a polish I give myself a purple square. So it's so satisfying to me to see that I've used every single one of these first 15 polishes here, and then this goes down to 33. So here's the decluttered one that I hadn't used yet, hence there's that gap. But yeah, everything else I used here. I just couldn't find my purple pen for this teal colored polish, and then this is where it stops, and I've currently got 40 polishes and I've used every single one of them this year so far. Super pleased. So I'm going to start off with this one because I've got it on my nails. This is Essie Spin the Bottle, and this is on my... I've actually used this 3 times, so I'm very happy with that. Absolutely enjoyed. It stays on quite long, so that's really fun. Also, as a base for a topper polish, it just stays on a bit longer than the other polishes. There are 4 more polishes I used once. There's Gucci Crystal Black, So Dreamy by My Mood, a lovely topper. And then these 2 Frankens. So I've got the orange shimmer in a Catrice bottle here, and then this berry in a Cien Beauty bottle, although I took off the label. So those I used once. Then this is a Franken with a shimmer that I used twice. And these 2 Frankens, so the purple one is with a gold shimmer in a Trended Up bottle, and then I've got this sort of reddish orange tomatoey red in a Maybelline Color Show. I used both of those 3 times. Super happy, but obviously I had 2 months and yeah, did a lot of monies. I mean, I changed my nail polish depending on longevity. I mean, with the Essie, I can probably get away with like 4 or 5 days, but yeah, normally it's more like 2-3 days. Last month, I also rolled in another resurrection item, and this is a bath oil by Oliver Bonas, citrus and lavender bath oil. I'm trying to finish it. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but again, I try, you know, my goal was to use this 3 times in between updates. I managed 2 uses. I'm super proud of myself because it's been really hot, so it's not like I'm really craving a bath, but then on the other hand, it is kind of nice and relaxing. So 2 uses, and there's a weight difference of 1.32 grams on here. And of course, I'm going to try and use this way more in between this update and the finale. I'll get to my goals in a moment, but I would still first like to roll in 2 more items. One to replace all the nail polishes and the other to replace the NARS blush. The first is a Resurrection and Cobwebs item because I've definitely had it in previous projects. Again, not to finish, but it's also a cobweb item because I haven't used it in so long. And that is because I had temporarily decluttered it to my mum and then she decluttered it back to me. So this is the Lottie London Ready Set Go setting powder. And you know, I'm not sure. I was like, did you use this, Mum? And she was like, yeah, maybe once or probably not. It's pretty full. I'm not gonna try and finish it in 2 months. I don't think I could do that. But I can do 13 uses on here within 2 months. So that's my goal for this item. I have weighed it, so it's now 20.08 grams. And we'll see what 13 uses can do to this product in terms of weight difference. Maybe I'll end up using it a little bit more. Maybe not. I've got a lot of, this is the next product saying, hurry up, I want to be shown. Yeah, I've got a lot of face powders in my collection currently. A lot for me anyway. Next item is also another cobwebs and resurrection item. Because my collection isn't like mega large, it's not ever like I feel like everything has already been in a project unless I've recently got it. Anyway, this is a perfume by YSL, actually still Yves Saint Laurent, Rive Gauche, and I love it. And I love the packaging on this so much. And I would also like to bring this in for 13 uses. This is a repurchase, by the way. And yeah, my mum had it in the 80s and 90s, and I would just buy it over and over again. I just love it. Yes. And this currently weighs 97.3 grams. Let's talk about candles next. I've probably got more exciting updates in my tea section, so I want to like leave the best to last. But yeah, let's just whiz through the candles now. You know, it has been very extremely hot this summer, lots of heat waves. So even though I've got candles on here, I'm not really doing that a lot over the summer. This part of my project isn't rolling style, so if I finish anything, I don't replace it from either the candle or tea section. 6 candles in here. My first candle is the Tranquil Scents Pure Essential Oil Candle with sandalwood and tea tree. I love the scent on here, and I've definitely burnt it a couple of times. I've got a very small, maybe just once actually, I've got a very small weight difference on here of 1 gram exactly, and that's 4.1 since my intro. This is the candle that I have definitely burnt the most, and I often put this on as I apply my makeup, just, you know, just to get the nice sort of atmosphere going. So this is by Primark, and it's the Sandalwood and Amber Scented Candle. This now weighs 387.51 grams, and I've used up 34.59 since my previous update, and that's 46.2 since my intro. So you can definitely see that the bulk of this progress comes from these past 2 months. Maybe this could be done for the finale. I'm gonna push myself for that. In terms of goals from the makeup and beauty stuff, by the way, I'm gonna try and have all of my usage goals rolled out for the finale, usage goals met. And I'm gonna try and do 4 uses on each of the finish items. I think I'm gonna also try and finish this mask here. Yeah. But if I get 4 uses on here, I'm gonna be happy as well. Right, moving on. Back to candles. Okay, North Muse. So this was a homemade candle that I hadn't burnt yet at my last update, and that was one of my goals. I just wanted to light it at least once, and that means I have used just 3.42 grams since my last update, and I had 0 obviously then. So, you know, hit that very easy goal and burnt this new candle. And then I've got this big orange candle that was brand new in the intro. I've used 10.69 grams since my last update, and that's 21.72 since the intro. Here's my only unused product of the entire update. 0 since my last update, but I already burnt 5.84 grams since the intro. And then finally, I'd really like to push myself to try and have this one done for the finale as well. So the black Primark one is my priority, and then this one is my second priority. I've got a difference of 5.19 since my previous update, and that's 17.94 since the intro. So I've definitely slowed down on it, but yeah, this is a Christmas candle from an advent wreath. The idea is that when I buy these candles, that I tell myself, oh, it's okay, I've got so many candles, and I'm kind of on like a low buy or no buy for candles. just in my own time. Yeah, I buy these thinking, oh, I'll definitely get through them by next Christmas, and yeah, so. Let me tell you, the other 3 are still very much here. Let's move into my tea section. At my last update, I still had all 6 in this project, and there were 3 of the 6 that I hadn't even had yet. So, at least not within this project. I'm gonna go in the same order as always. So kicking off with this Earl Grey decaf tea here, it's loose, and I am finally very much drinking it, absolutely loving it. So delicious, especially with milk and honey. So even though this was unused last time, I finally got a weight difference on here of 15.17 grams. Super happy. Will I be able to make it for the finale? Maybe. I'm about here. I think it's possible. It is very delicious, and I'm glad I'm drinking it finally. Then I've got this organic Japanese sencha traditional green tea by Clear Spring, and this had, well, it's 20 tea sachets. This was from last year's Graveyard Project Pan, and I hadn't used it. Then I had 1 tea bag in between the finale of last year and the intro of this year. So I was at 19 at the intro, at 18 at my last update. Today I'm at 14. So yay, I've used up 5 in total. Super good. I'm now finally drinking this as iced tea as well. It's really nice when you cool it down and mix it with some honey or a little bit of sugar. Yeah, I prefer honey over sugar in my teas, but absolutely gorgeous. Just don't add lemon into it. Of course, everyone knows that apart from me. I'm making huge progress with this Clipper tea here. So this is just a classic everyday tea. This was sealed, 80 bags. And yeah, I want to say these are unbleached tea bags, and the packaging is now fully recyclable. So there's no plastic here or anything. Yeah. So this had 80 bags at the intro. I was at 48 at my last update, and I'm now down to 15 tea bags. And yeah, I'm also enjoying this one. And just another update on my decaf and coffee journey. I am having the odd coffee here and there, but it's no longer like first thing. Sometimes just when I'm out and about, and I prefer having a real coffee rather than a decaf. Yeah, and if I need like a little energy pick me up, then I'm reaching for this one. Super glad how that's all working out. Next is a gourmet. So this is the Knightsbridge decaf tea bags. 80 bags in total. So I have these 2 bags, or had these 2 bags of 40 each. This was never in this project. I just wanted to finish up what I had in this already open bag here. So there were 25 of the 40 in here at the intro. I was at 17 at my last update, and now I'm down to 0. And this is the reason why I'm now drinking my Earl Grey decaf, because I'm done with this. And yeah, this is just convenience, but taste, convenience. Yeah, this is how it goes. There is the Linden tea here, and my goal was to use this tea at least once. This was an unused tea at my last update. I've brewed this 2 or 3 times, really enjoyed it. It's very soothing and calming, great evening tea, not caffeinated, super lovely. And yeah, so it was unused last time, and I've used 6.89 grams since my intro. And then finally, such small use on here, but it counts, just 0.06 grams, and that's of course because, ooh, when you open this, I'm really only using a pinch of these leaves in a cup of hot water, and this is a gunpowder green tea. I'm gonna try and push myself to finish the Earl Grey, the Clipper, and the Linden tea. I think that's doable, and then to make a little more progress on these 2 green teas here as well, especially if I can finish the Clipper within September. Then I might, well, I will then move on to these for caffeinated drinks at home. Thank you so much for watching. You're gonna have to let me know how it's all going for you. I know a lot of you are playing along but not necessarily updating anywhere. If you're doing that on Instagram, even on like a private Instagram, feel free to drop me a comment or drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm going to link my account down below. Or you can leave a comment and let us all know how you're getting on. I know a lot of you are also planning your tea and your candles. So how is that all going for you? Are you meeting all of your beauty and makeup goals for Graveyard Project Pan as well? And I think, yeah, especially with this project, because it's in the middle of summer, I always find update 1, you know, that time between update 1 and update 2 to be quite slow. And then hopefully we're able to push ourselves to the finish line, to Halloween, now for the next 2 months. So thanks again for watching. I hope you subscribe if you haven't done so already. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.